Okay, I'd like to call the election of officers for 2018-2019 Parliament election meeting to order. Mr. Hoviak, please read roll call.
Thomas Lima.
Here.
Vanessa Ruggieri. Here. Joseph Caperta. Here. Ryan Santana.
Here.
David Alden Sears.
Hey.
Emily Ferguson. Here. Caitlin Kane. Here. Devin Costa.
Here.
Catherine Enos. Here. Genesis Garcia. Here. Janelle Gomez. Here. Amanda Monahan. Joshua Kersey. Here. Alexis Polonsky. Here. Matthew Skyvo. Julio Barrino Nunez. James Hilly.
Here.
Haley Rome. Here. Valerie Endres. Rosalind Sabilski. Arthur Patry. Nicholas Lima.
Here.
All right, I'll make this real quick. So in order for an officer to win, you have to reach 10 votes to get a majority. If a candidate does not win 10 votes, it goes to a second round up until a maximum of 7 rounds until it's a simple majority at that point. Please write a 1 in the top right-hand corner for each ballot. And if we go to a second round, write a number 2 in the top right corner of each ballot, so it's a ballot. And there are no proxies or leaves to be validated for this meeting. With that being said, remarks for candidates for president. First is A. Joshua Percy.
Thank you, President Lima. Hello, everyone. Kicking it off for us tonight. Very excited. I'd like to give everyone a little bit of a background on my involvement here on Parliament. I've been at RIC for 3 years now. I've been part of Anchor TV for all 3 years, and I was here filming Parliaments for the first 2 years of my active participation on campus. And then this year, I decided to take a step forward and serve on the body. It was something that interested me. And I decided to make the step forward and try to serve on the body to the best I can. And this year, my main objective was to speak for the students, because that's what we're here for. It's not for our own personal agendas. It's not for us to voice our own opinions. We are representing the student body. So that's the first and foremost thing we have to remember. If you were to elect me as your student community government president, there's a few things that I have, some ideas in my head that I would like to try to achieve. My number one goal is I want to try to make student community government more diverse, and I want more representation on the body. And I want to try to make that as easy as possible for people to do. I understand that people work, Wednesdays might not be the best time frame. I understand that sometimes people have issues with the petitions, and a lot of people have issues with the policies of student community government, so it shies them and it kind of scares them away from serving on the body. So a few ideas that I had was, there's a lot of issues brought up with the open forum policy. I am a criminal justice major, so I do believe in rules and regulations and kind of like a set of guidelines to follow. That's something that I support. But I do believe that 2 minutes is not a good enough time for people to voice their opinion and voice their concern. So I would look at an idea of trying to increase that time frame to a 5 to 10 minute range. If it was hired up to like the lowest number 5, I would look to add maybe a 2 or 3 minute discussion period for Parliament members to ask questions. Just a couple ideas that I have to try to improve open forum. Another thing I want to make known to students is the guest speaker policy. I feel as though we could better use that for a way for students to come that are more prepared for a discussion than voicing their opinions. They can show up well prepared. We can get the materials in ahead of time. We have more thought process in what they want to talk about. So by giving them an opportunity to come as a guest speaker, and it would be more of a straight line discussion rather than an on-the-spot argument that it turns out to be. Another thing is I would like to look at the term limit for executive officers. I know I look at the policy, it is 8 semesters, which is 4 years of college, which makes sense because that's most of the time, most people graduate in 4 years. But as a freshman, you show up, if you're a freshman and you don't get elected in class elections for that first semester, you're already down 1 semester, say if you get elected in the spring. So my idea is that most people graduate at RIC at a 5-year rate. And increasing the number of term limits to, let's say, 9 or 10 would increase freshman activity, I would believe. They would be more keen to get involved maybe the second half of the semester or the first half semester. But it also gives them the opportunities, if they missed out that freshman year, it gives them the same possibility to serve for 4 years. I know it's kind of a stretch, but it's just an idea. I'm trying to think outside of the box. But my main goal is to represent students. I want to represent all students. And I want to make sure that the student body and the student parliament here has that representation that they want. Thank you.
The next candidate is Julio Arroyo Nunez.
Good evening, members of Parliament of Student Community Government. 3 years ago, I became a student here at Rhode Island College. At this time, I made it my mission to help this college grow, prosper, become more inclusive, and most importantly, to continue the success of all students. To continue the momentum of the past 3 years of my career here at Rhode Island College, I am running for the president of Student Community Government. Since my freshman year, I have been the president of the class of 2019. I am a community leader, an activist, a mentor, a student, and a human being. Since the very moment my fellow students chose me as your class president, I made it my purpose to become a voice for all students, build a stronger community, and promote visibility. All of you know that I am a very passionate person. I belong to so many campus organizations in the province surrounding areas. Organizations such as the Rhode Island Coexist, the Latin American Student Organization, Pride Alliance, Rhode Island Pride, College Visions, AIDS Care Ocean State, and now proudly representing the art department here at SCG. I have brought my passion to each of these organizations and have helped make a positive impact to this community. After participating in the March 28 Parliament meeting, it should be obvious and clear to everyone that in this room and to this campus that the diversity and visibility must be the priority of student community government. If I am chosen president, I want to help change the SCG so that it can become a more inclusive space. I want to make the student body feels as though they are included in the excellence of the SCG. I will do this by listening to all of our fellow students. The idea of being a leader is not just to be ordering around, but to understand that you are playing a small part in the making of a better place. This needs to be accomplished through teamwork, integrity, confidence, and through the connecting of the entire campus onto the issues that are most important to our community, to our campus community. As the president of the SCG, I like to emphasize the C, community, and bring our student population together to keep making this college a better place for all. Many of you have witnessed my passion and determination. I am not afraid to engage into the conversations that are a little difficult to make. And these conversations will forever be welcome to any spaces that we have. We will face a lot of challenges going forward as a student body. I am passionate about my education here at Rhode Island College, and I am also passionate about my experience. If you choose me as your president, I will use my passion to bring visibility and integrity to this campus community. Thank you.
Next at this time Are there any write-ins for the position of president? Are there any write-ins for the position of president? Are there any write-ins for the position of president? Hearing none, I declare the write-in period closed, and we shall proceed with balloting. Again, please put one in the top right-hand corner so we can verify the round. Doesn't have to leave.
We try to make it as easy as possible.
Make sure to write them one in the top corner of the ballot.
Is there a specific one that we have to write in for everyone?
Yeah, I know.
No, there's no break. I mean, this one's B too. This one is B too.
That's how I go.
There.
First election. President laws. And representative.
No, we have no information. I'm ready.
All right, by a vote of 12 to 4, Josh Percy is the next president of student community government. There were no invalids. There was 12 votes for Josh and 4 for Lou. All right, next on the agenda, before I get to the ballot, the remarks for vice president.
Mr. Becker?
Yes,
What was that last thing you said about the invalids?
there were no invalids. The final vote was 12 for Josh and 4 for Julio.
Thank you.
Before I get to the next remarks, there's actually going to be 2 leaves. The first is from Representative Monahan. She says, please excuse my tardiness. I was late due to finishing up my work application and closing the department Learning for Life. Amanda Monahan.
Move passage.
Called for by Speaker Sears, seconded by Representative Polonsky. Any discussion on the late leave? Hearing none, we now proceed with a vote. All those in favor of approving the leave, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Abstentions? Rep. Monahan abstains. And I believe Rep. Scavo has a leave as well.
They're all staring right at you.
Please take your time.
Students, to whom it may concern, please excuse my late leave. I had a personal issue to attend to. Matthew Scott. Do I have a motion to approve? Motion by President Percy, second by Vice President Ruggieri. Any discussion on the late leave? Hearing none, we'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Abstentions? Representative Scavo abstains, and the leave is approved. With that being said, we now move on to remarks by candidates for Vice President. The first candidate on the agenda is James Fielding.
How's everyone doing?
Good.
Hello, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is James Fielding. This is my second semester here at Rhode Island College. I have attended events here, student organizations, became a general member, and acquainted myself with active orgs and members of the student community government. I attended a parliament meeting on March 28th, where tensions got a little high. I didn't say anything, I just wanted to observe everyone's viewpoints and get a sense of the climate on campus. Although there were opposing views at hand, I noticed something very encouraging. Each person in parliament, I could tell, definitely cared about the student body and wanted the best for the RIT community. What I took home from that meeting was if I wanted to make a positive difference on campus, joining parliament was the place to do so. I believe that I am the best candidate for this position because I possess the following qualities. I'm willing to take time to actively outreach to students on their level, which is something I already started. I'm not afraid to have controversial conversations, and I have experienced how to facilitate them so that there is constructive dialogue. I've learned how to remain open-minded and not allow my prejudgment to overshadow my decision-making. I'm a team player. I'm always in control of my emotions, which you may have seen on March 28th. I am compassionate. I truly care about building the bridge between what SCG needs, what the students want, and what we can give. If I'm selected as VP, my integrity will never go questioned, and I will work to ensure positive results. Thank you.
Next is Genesis Garcia. Okay. At this time, are there any write-ins for the position of Vice President? Are there any write-ins for the position of Vice President? Are there any write-ins for the position of Vice President? Hearing none, write-ins are not closed. Reminder, please put a 1 in the top right corner, and also we need 10 ballot votes for the candidate to at the election ballot.
Huh? I don't know. That's preferential treatment by the vice president. How does she get a nice
For a long meeting.
Yeah. She gets a fancy chair.
Tom, you can still go.
Vanessa, did you fill that out?
Not yet.
No.
I was gonna say, I should have done one extra.
What are you talking about? Dick Van Dyke was a sitcom from like the 60s. No, I saw it. You go like this.
It was like one of the first late night TV talk shows. So they always put on this third.
Was it Johnny Carson?
Turned in unbelievable.
I like Jimmy Kimmel. I like Stephen Colbert.
See, I can't get, I'm like,
I like goals.
exactly, me too. Because, you know, I live politics all day long. I don't want to go home at night and try to relax and watch a funny show and have to hear about it. That's my favorite.
You can't escape.
Oh, that's my preference.
Well, yeah, or cold beer.
You know what I mean? Yeah, go ahead. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. I like family. I think I
Balance,
I
balance.
think I
I hear it.
Nobody was.
They're viciously mean, I hear in real life. I don't know personally.
Is he?
I hear it's they're always the angriest ones. I smile all the time. How pissed I am. Yeah, you. Every time I hear them, why is she angry?
Mary, what did I do? I just walked in the door.
Don't you say my girl Adam's angry? She's wonderful.
Don't forget about the man that nominated Joe Caparo for secretary as for write-ins last year. It was David A. Lawrence. I'm responsible. I'm responsible. You won't blame me.
All right. With 17 votes for James Fielding and 1 invalid write-in for Amelia President Vlaso, James Fielding is the new vice president.
Well done.
All right, at this time, we are moving on to remarks for candidates for secretary. First on the list is Joshua Percy.
I withdraw.
Next on the list is Genesis Garcia.
Hello, hope we're doing all right on this rainy day. I've been on campus for a really long time, and over the course of the years, I've been very involved, and I know how to manage my plate pretty well. I try my hard for classes well. I put mostly my on orgs. I've been at XN for almost 3 years now. Every year, I seem to climb the ladder, and I try to not overdo it with myself. I pride myself on having a great sense of responsibility, which is why I decided to go for secretary. With secretary, you know, I think I should be secretary. I'm repeating myself. I have a great work ethic, a great sense of responsibility. I promise as secretary I will be holding roundtables because I have a lot of pull here with all the orgs, and there seems to be a lot of miscommunications and stuff like that, especially in Constitution. So with the roundtables, I plan to settle all that so that every org can know what's going on, know about budgets, know about this, know the correct information, as well as they can take that opportunity to discuss about issues, because every org here seems to have an issue, but they don't ever know where to bring it up. And the roundtables will be definitely perfect with that. They can also use the opportunity to collab with other orgs and co-sponsorships. Whatever it is, me as secretary, I'll help them get there. Also, as part of secretary, I'm very skilled when it comes to event planning. I planned my own event through WSIN called the Urban Showcase. A lot of people came out. It was a very hard thing to do at first. It was my first time doing it, but in the end, with the team behind me, I prevailed. I know that I'm going to do a great job with the SOC committee as well. I'm going to try my best to recruit people so that we can have a fully staff. And I'm going to try my best to make sure that SG has a great holiday party and can continue to tradition of stories. Overall, my plate is going to be semi-full, but with secretary, it's not going to be no problem. Vote for me for secretary. Thank you.
Next on the agenda is James Fielding. This time, are there any writing candidates for the position of secretary? Are there any writing candidates for the position of secretary? Are there any writing candidates for the position of secretary? Hearing none, the writing candidacy period is now closed, and we shall proceed with balloting.
Steve and I were talking about it earlier. I changed it back.
If you ever go to a party with us, listen, when I go to parties, I'm bad when it comes to parties. I need to be the center of attention at all times, so anytime that I'm at a party and the attention's diverted away from me, I don't get invited.
The whole break.
I get secret plans. No one tells me about it. I don't want me to that.
Yeah, we do. Because you're the riot.
The riot. I'm trying to kill people are protesting.
That's good for business.
Thanks, guys. Basic security.
Next year, we're going to do an event at our back at our kick campus where we have people be able to make fun of Dave.
Yeah, they should have a Dave Sears roast.
Oh my God, do you know how much money? If we had a Dave Sears roast, do you understand how much money?
Listen, you all decide where the money goes, and I'll do it.
We advertise it for NCCRI.
It can't go to
Yes. Huh?
Can't go to
No, listen, you pick a charity or something. They'll do a Dave Sears roast for charity.
It's like pie your face.
Was that, huh?
Pie your face thing. You know how like they like roast
They'll put rocks in them. I don't trust them.
I would like the butter like
No. Somebody suggested to host a Dave Sears roast. Oh, I'm ready.
Big money.
At the Scorpions.
With 17 votes for Genesis Garcia and 1 invalid write-in vote for Rex Tillerson, Genesis Garcia is the new secretary.
what the invalid was for again?
Was a write-in for Rex Tillerson. All right, at this time, we'll receive remarks, candidates for treasurer. First, on the agenda is Janelle Gomez.
Good evening, my fellow representatives, old and new. First, I'd like to thank all of you for sacrificing your time in such a busy season to attend and vote at this election. I am Janelle Gomez. I have been a part of Parliament for the entire year, so I've learned Robert's Rules of Order, especially after running for Deputy Speaker. As Treasurer, I would be the Speaker of the Finance Commission, and I believe I could do this. Shortly after I joined Parliament, I joined the Finance Commission, where I gained experience for a little more than a semester. I have worked with clubs to modify and improve their requests, because as Treasurer, you're here to serve the clubs. I'd like to get the chance to be your treasurer because SCG is a corporation, and as such, your treasurer needs to be organized, transparent, and here for the clubs. Recognized by SCG, of course. I'm an honest and transparent person, and as such, I'd like to implement a Google Drive spreadsheet or some sort of database where clubs and organizations will have access to their updated budgets, because I know how difficult it can be with event planning when you don't have accurate bookkeeping. I'd also like to implement a financial workshop where I'd help teach good bookkeeping skills and help organization leaders learn how to keep their own records, as well as I'll keep one on them for Google Takeover. I'd like to make clubs aware of the June 30th being the last day when all club accounts close, and to keep a summer escrow, which you can do as organization leaders. You can have a summer escrow. You must submit a request before June 1st through emails. I would like to start a treasurer group chat between myself as treasurer and other treasurers, organization treasurers, so that they can plan accordingly. If I'm elected SCG treasurer, I'd like to have my commission scheduled up by the end of finals. So, because I know timing is important for event planning, especially with everyone getting their new budgets. As treasurer, I would go above and beyond for all orgs. I'd be readily available to assist with organizing the requests, answering questions on how to make payments, because again, time is important and some of these officers are new and unfamiliar with our policies. When our audit is conducted, I like to make this available to all our students because they're all putting money into this fund and they should know where it's going. I'd like to make my commission aware that all unused funds are reverted to the general fund. I want my commission to be able to make responsible and I'd like my commission to be responsibly and accurately giving our clubs and clubs on the rise and new clubs the budgets that will improve them. I'd also make transparent that any student activity fee paying student could appeal our decision because students should know their rights. I'm all about hearing all voices, so I'd like to recruit folks from all aspects of student life. Folks that are on clubs, folks that aren't on clubs, because they're all putting money into this. I'd like to start my recruiting prior to next year, working closely with the president. I plan on giving out informational materials during the annual president-treasurer meeting so that they can bring that over to their outlets. I'd love to have my commission full by the second meeting of the semester, which is the estimated date of September 5th. So in conclusion, as chair of this Finance Commission, I'll make sure we are fiscally responsible while doing everything we could to promote campus life, while being completely transparent, of course. Thank you for your time, and I hope I gained your vote if I didn't already. Thank you.
All right, next is James Fielding. Do you drop out of there? Okay. Next on, apologies, I skipped over. Next on the list is actually Alexis Polonsky.
My name is Alexis Polonsky. I'm running for treasurer of student committee government. For the last semester, I've worked on the Finance Commission. I've seen a variety of different requests. While sitting on the Finance Commission, I made sure to be as active as possible, actively asking questions to all the orgs, make sure that I understand what they're requesting and how to best go about that. Since I was on the Finance Commission, I also was able to participate in the budget hearings, which was a very interesting process. All the orgs just get together and review all the budgets and stuff. I learned a lot from that. I was an advocate for giving clubs not just what they want, but what they need first, and then afterwards giving more for room to grow, because I really want clubs to also be able to grow, not just keep them stagnant. I feel like, I'm sorry. I feel like this is an important attribute to have for this position. Through these processes, I've begun to understand the funding policies and how they work. So starting to see how student community government works, through the Finance Commission, I became interested in how it works more behind the scenes. That's why I'm interested in running for the position of treasurer for next year. Because of that, I had a meeting with the current treasurer to ask questions about how the financial aspect of SCG exactly works. Hearing about daily work like processing withdrawal slips, reallocations, allocations, any other necessary paperwork. I was very interested in dealing with that. As a computer science major, it fits the nature of what I do. Close attention to detail, the accuracy needed. You can't just, you have to pinpoint everything. As well as the ability to process and manage data, which is what I do. But more than that, I was also interested in the management part of the position, working with multiple organizations, making sure they're as successful as possible, as well as teaching them how it works, answering any questions that they have. I feel like this is another very important aspect of the position because I want student life to be as active as possible, and that can only happen if everyone understands how to go about the proper processes of doing things. That's why I specifically decided to declare for only this position, because I feel like this is the best fit for me, and I'll be able to serve the student body the best way possible this way. So if I am elected, I would do my best to make sure, work with all the organizations to work with them so that they're as successful as possible. I would do this by making sure I'm as open and available as possible. I don't exactly have too much on my plate. I'm only in a few clubs. That way I can dedicate as much time as possible to the clubs that I'm in. I would make sure I'm as open and available so they can come to me, any questions, email, in person, whatever works. So that would be my goal if I was elected as treasurer. Thank you.
Vice President-elect Fielding drops out of the race, and at this time, are there any write-in candidates for the position of treasurer? Are there any write-in candidates for the position of treasurer? Are there any write-in candidates for the position of treasurer? Hearing none, the write-in is closed, and we now proceed with balloting.
Alright, so I'm just gonna park and then can I come back? Like, it's gonna be done now. So, you know, later. Okay, I'll go this in, It wasn't.
You didn't say it's off the record.
It's off.
Thank you, Leroy.
All right, vote of 10 to 8. Janelle Gomez is the next treasurer of the community government. We now move on to remarks from candidates for speaker. First on the list is Josh Percy. I'm assuming he drops out. All right. Next on the list is Julio Herrera.
Good evening again. The wise man once said, "We the people, in order to form a more perfect union," are some of the words that I can think of that fit into this position. Like I said in my previous speech, I am not afraid to engage into the conversations that are a little bit difficult to have. And we will continue to face some challenges as we go as a student body. If I am chosen as Parliament Speaker, I will help facilitate those conversations that are very hard to engage in. I will use my leadership skills accordingly to help with appropriate decision making and for the betterment of our student body. Lastly, I will make sure we as a Parliament listen to all of our students. We will be the voices of our college community wants to hear, and we will be representing the campus community wherever we go. Lastly, most importantly, we will be the voices representing the students here in this table. Thank you.
Remarks for candidates, Janelle Gomez, and drop out, I'm assuming. Josh, at this time, are there any write-in candidates for the position of
Mr. President.
speaker?
I would like to nominate Alexis Polanski
Based
as
on
speaker.
nominations, they have.
Well, I would request Alexis Polanski write in.
Are there any write-in candidates for the position of speaker? Are there any? Representative Polowski, you declare yourself as a write-in. Okay, you may give a speech.
Hello, I'm back. My name is Alexis Pulaski. So I believe I could do this position because I have been a part of Parliament for about half a semester. I've seen how it works. I understand how the rules work. I've started to understand Robert's rules and how to conduct a parliament meeting, the procedures for that. And I do want to help the student body. I want to make sure that everyone understands how it works. So any misunderstandings with like policies and stuff like that. I also, Speaker also handles the bylaws, which I am a part of, and I have also seen how that works. I'm interested in managing that as well, so that's a thing to consider. And yeah.
Any other writings for the position of speaker? Seeing none, writings are now closed. Remember, put a 1 in the corner, and if you're writing in someone, put a check mark on the box and spell out their name.
Gamers should have a Tetris tournament. I will play Tetris.
We had a year-long tournament thing set up for this year where our members could participate and rack up points throughout the entire year. And one of the tournaments we did was actually Puyo Tetris.
Really?
Yeah.
I once had a dream I was playing Tetris with Putin. It wasn't a good dream.
Are you sure?
Given the fact that Putin's a dream, I don't think I would do that.
What?
Given that Putin's a dream.
Did I tell you about the dream I had last night? In fact, you like this one. So I had a dream that I was holding on to a bunch of balloons, and it was St. Mary's feast.
They're legal on Long Island.
Huh?
You should
Legal on Long Island.
Are they? Well, this isn't nice. In fact, the reason why I like this is because the dream was I was right in front of what's his name? Chris Bonanno's property on Grassley Street. For some reason, I was like standing in his driveway, and I just had a bunch of balloons in my hand. I started flying away, and I landed in my side yard. I was like, I felt like I was being pressure.
We got this.
With a vote of 10 to 8, Julio Ferrero Nunez is the next speaker. No imbalance. All right, at this time, I think someone took my agenda again. There's no candidates on the ballot for deputy speaker, so the writings for deputy speaker is now open. Are there any writings for deputy speaker?
I would like to run as a write-in for deputy speaker.
All right, Representative Brown, want to make a speech?
Hi, everybody. Some of you might know me, some of you might not, but I'm Haley Roan. I'm interested in the position of Deputy Speaker because I'm trying to get more involved with Parliament, and I was on the Finance Commission all year this year, and on top of that, I've been involved in student orgs for the past 3 years, and this is my 4th year here. So aside from helping with Gamer and being president this year, in the past I had been secretary and social media coordinator, as well as being involved heavily in the communications department.
and also being involved with Otaku and helping with ASA and co-sponsoring a variety of events. So I think that deputy speaker would be a good fit for me because I love hearing ideas from people, and I know we did a suggestion box to hear comments from students throughout campus, and I love hearing ideas, advocating for people, and communicating for people, and all around just helping the student body. So with that, that's why I'm interested in deputy speaker.
Deputy Speaker. Any other write-ins for the position of Deputy Speaker? Hearing none, write-ins are closed. Please put a 1 in the corner, check the box next to the write-in, and write in the person's name you're voting for.
I'm retired.
Well, I ran as a write-in for treasurer against Leandro. Thank you. There was competition.
I apologize. You know, he didn't vote for me for deputy speaker when I was running.
Who did he vote for?
He wrote in Harambe, not the club. The gorilla that was recently shot. Yeah, it's hysterical, absolutely, yeah. I really laughed really hard at that. That's why I wrote with the biggest font I possibly could. I, Ryan Santana, as big as I could on that ballot. Feels good to be retired. You're not retired yet. I'm retired.
Not until June 1st.
After this meeting and then after the next month or so, I'm retired. I already picked out where I'm going to fly. I'm going to Fort Myers. I'm buying a big white pair of slip-resistant sneakers, and I'm going to Flower. I'm going to play shuffleboard.
Why don't you go to Orlando and stay with Devin?
Devin, I think he found a new roommate.
You got room in the hostel.
Y'all leave a chair, right?
How's it feel?
I'll be the big spoon.
So I can't be
Why do your eyes get like 3 times as big?
Because I will be.
Devin, are you gonna get a double raise tie?
I have no idea I don't know what.
Does she want to? Yeah, if you want to give me speeches, that would be lovely to include in the minutes.
Mary, if you want
Excellent.
I can make my acceptance speech like 3 minutes.
No, I want like the actual like.
Give like a Joe Pesci Academy Award speech. You're like,
Yes,
real
please.
honest thanks.
But this one's in big letters.
All right, with 12 votes for Haley Roan. Haley Roan is the new deputy speaker. There were 6 invalids for Roni Pony, David Sears, Joe Perda, and Coleman Misspellings.
Rony Pony.
Both nicknamed in high school.
Rony Pony.
We're not done yet. There's still more to do tonight on this meeting. All right, first is response by President-elect.
Keep it short and simple. I wanted to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I wanted to thank the new people that joined for next year. I wanted to thank the officers from this year, the ones that are graduating, the ones who are stepping down. It was a fun year. I look forward to next year. I look forward to working with everyone who will be here. And I'm sure we'll get a lot done. And just got to remember that our number one goal is representing students. Thank you.
You don't have to come up if you want. You can give remarks. You don't have to stand, but you can't come up here.
Thank you for voting for me.
I like that guy. I'm buying him a drink.
He's actually 21. I just want to say that it's been a very impactful and eventful year this year here at SCG, at Parliament. A lot of life lessons I learned. Got to meet different people, got to hear different voices. I'm excited to partake in my new journey as secretary. I want to say thank you to the current SCG staff, president, vice president, secretary. So you guys did a great job this year. I wish you luck next year, next fall, whatever you guys do. All wishes in your classes if you're still going to be here. I want to wish best of luck to the new people who got promoted, who got new jobs here at SCG. I hope, we're all team, it's going to be a team effort. It's not just one thing. It takes a whole village to make things perfect. So, come to me if you need anything. I do have a good voice here on campus. I just want to say that I really do appreciate that, that SCG is getting more diverse. I think it's very important so that, other people can see that, they can see, hey, let me join. I guess I do fit in and stuff like that. So, that's all I have to say, and thank you for holding me.
By Treasurer-elect.
I want to say thank you to everybody who's here. Thank you for those who voted for me. I want to thank the current e-board as well. I want to thank Genesis because she kind of tipped the hat when she said, "It takes a village to raise a child." That's one of my favorite quotes. I really want to thank Joan and Mary because I was working on my speech for 3 days and I had 7 pages and they cut it down to a page and a half because Mary didn't want to write it in the minutes. So thank you everyone, and I will make you proud, and if you need help with anything, I'm here for you in your clubs. Thank you.
Remarks by Speaker-elect.
Thank you for voting.
Remarks by Deputy Speaker-elect.
Thank you everyone for your time. I look forward to next year, and thank you for everyone that put in hard work this year. Please don't call me Roni Pony.
All right, next is the nominations for advisor. SCG can have multiple advisors. Speakers here.
I would like to nominate Dr. Mark Mott.
Any other nominations for advisor? Mr. Ken Hughes. Ken Hughes. Any other nominations for advisor? SCG can have multiple advisors. All right, hearing none, nominations for advisor is now closed. Next is nominations for alumni representative. Speaker.
I would like to nominate 2 this evening. One, our treasurer, Ryan Santana, and I would like to nominate biology representative Caitlin Kane.
I'd like to nominate Robert Smith.
I'd like to nominate Robert Smith. I don't know if that's the same person.
Yes, the same, yeah.
Robert Smith. Dog.
We just nominate the Alumni Association first. Any other nominations for alumni rep?
Nicholas Lima.
Mr. President, I served as alumni rep for 2 years. I do have 1 year of eligibility left. However, I think the body should have more voices. I think my voice has been heard enough the last 2 years. I think the body will
You can decline later.
So
Yes,
I can decline now to save Mr. Oviac. I would rather thank you.
No?
I still nominate him, man.
Julio?
Don't take the training wheels off.
Julio? Okay.
Mr. Andrew Spaziano.
Okay. Any other nominations? I hear none. Nominations for alumni rep are closed. The faculty rep and staff reps are 2-year terms. So as of right now, they're all coming back. We're moving on to the approval of the 2018-2019 meeting schedule. Has everyone looked at the schedule? All right. Is it on the packet? If you want to pass this around real quick, if you haven't seen the schedule for next year, it's to speak on the schedule a little bit. It's bi-weekly still. It's not bi-weekly. It's at least 2 meetings a month. 7:15. I sat down with the administrative assistant, and she and Joan booked 307 for the fall semester, and then she booked both Donovan and 307 for the spring semester because the college has told us that the Student Union is going to start renovations in spring of 2019. So, again, we just have to approve the schedule. It can be amended later. Yes, Percy.
I thought you needed a second.
Okay, so the motion was complete by Speaker Sears, second by Rep. Percy. Any further discussion? Want to go around?
Mr. President, question on the 7:15 start time, is that because of a class or something, 307?
Yes, it was this year, yeah.
For next year, though, is it?
For next year, potentially, yes. We at this time, we have not been told if this building, even though it's a student union, is still being used for classes.
The student/class will be.
In my opinion, unfortunately, yeah.
I'm retired.
Any further discussion on that agenda, on the schedule? Hearing none, we now proceed with a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Abstentions, and it is passed. At this time, I'm seeking a motion to adjourn the election meeting. Motion by Representative Gomez, second.
Can we go back to alumni rep? Representative, I have somebody else I want to.
Yeah, sure, yes.
Sorry about that. Can I nominate Vanessa?
Okay. Vanessa, adjourn.
Thank you, sorry about that.
All right. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
The motion was by Rep. Gomez, second by Rep. Percy.
Thank you.
All right, we are adjourned. The scheduled Parliament meeting is until 8 o'clock. So we'll reconvene at 8 o'clock for the regular final Parliament meeting. Senatia.
We do have.
And we have food in the back.
For you guys.
Hey,